back, everyone. We're joined now by Renee Moran, who is a tree fruit specialist with Maine's Highmore Farm in Monmouth. Renee, thank you for joining us today.
Welcome.
And tell us a little bit about the work that goes on there at Highmore Farm.
We do a lot of research on fruit and vegetable production from a commercial standpoint, so that's solving problems for Maine's fruit and vegetable farmers. And my emphasis is on tree fruits, and for the last several years I've been working on both apples and peaches.
And I understand you've had a longer history with apples, but you've been working with peaches since 2019. So tell us about, I guess, the progress of the peach production industry in Maine and where you'd like to see that go in the future.
Well, we currently don't really have what is known as an industry. We have what is side production, a side gig for apple growers in the state. But several years ago, I've noticed that some of the apple growers were planting peach varieties that were not fully adapted to the state. So I got involved in testing new varieties to hopefully prevent that from happening in the future. Where I'd like to see it go is substantial peach production that rivals apple production in the state.
That would be pretty cool. People think peaches, they think Georgia, but what is it about Maine's climate that actually allows certain breeds of peaches to grow here?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to my mind would be the ocean effect, which moderates the severe temperatures in the winter. So we have a climate that's warmer than places like Iowa in the Midwest. It also slows down the bloom progression in springtime so that they bloom a little bit later than other places in New England, and they escape the spring frost.
And there are obviously some challenges with Maine's climate as well. So tell me about your work to breed these peaches to be more resilient in the future.
Well, the winters are still too severely cold for feasible commercial production. But that's lessened over the last several years, and I've started to see years where we actually have a full crop of peaches. But I think the major varieties that we have available still are not fully hardy for what would work best.
Right.
So several years ago, I started a small part-time breeding project after I noticed one particular variety at Highmore Farm that grows peaches like this, tiny, but in even some of the most severe winters, it still has flowers and fruit survive. So I've been using this to try and introduce its cold hardy genes into peaches like this.
Very, very cool. And real quick, I know your goal is to see an actual peach industry here in the state of Maine. How long do you think that would take?
Well, the first generation from this cross has shown some potential for good fruit quality, but the size is still halfway in between. So I think one more generation, I'll have something possible.
Well, some fascinating work. We thank you for joining us and sharing today.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Renee. And stay tuned. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up next.